Very few students like writing their first draft college application essays. And this is true whether you're writing the common application essay, a application essay for an institutional application, or an application essay for a supplement to the common application. First drafts are just always a challenge. And I think one of the reasons the first draft is always such a big challenge for so many students is they don't have a framework in place in their mind as to what they need to produce by the end of their first draft. And one of the key elements, I believe, of a really great first draft, a first draft that will allow you to build and grow in your second draft and ultimately final draft, is its length. You want your first draft of any essay to be longer than the word limit that you are working with for any particular college application essay. So let's say you are writing the common application essay first draft. The word limit on your final draft is 650 words. I believe that your word limit on your first draft should be at least 900 words. So for an institutional application that has an essay question that asks for an essay of no more than 500 words, your first draft should be at least 750 words. You always need your first draft essay to be far longer than what the final draft is going to be in terms of word count, because you want to have spare words with which to work. The first draft is necessarily not perfect. So if you have too few words in your first draft, your second draft is always going to be harder to produce because you're not going to have enough words with which to work. You want to be able to have a lot of fat in that first draft, because only if you have a lot of fat in that first draft are you going to be able to trim it down to pure muscle by the second, third, fourth, and final draft essays that you're going to be drafting in the days ahead. So on that first draft application essay, always start big. Don't look at that word count limit and say, well, my first draft can be around that. No, you want to go above and beyond. I have had some of the best students I've worked with who have had their first draft common application essays over 1,200 words. That's over twice the size of their final draft. But it's so valuable to start big because that's showing you two things. First, if you can write 1,200 words about the topic that you are ultimately going to write about on your common application essay, and the word limit is 650 words, that means you have a lot to say about that topic, which means that you're going to have a stronger final draft if you are passionate about writing about that topic. But second of all, again, you're going to have a lot of spare words with which to work, and those words always come out incorrectly or not perfectly the first time around. So when you spill out 1,200 words about a topic on the first draft, it's very likely that when you look at that draft the next day, you're going to be able to cut easy a few hundred words, easy, because you'll be able to cut the repetition out, cut the words that are just not necessary, cut out maybe entire paragraphs that will get you down to the strongest part of your essay, the muscle. So always build that first draft with a lot of fat so that by the second draft, third draft, fourth draft, you trim it down to a lean, mean essay fighting machine that is within the word limit of the essay that you have to produce for that particular prompt, for the particular question on the application that you are working with. Always start big on the first draft so the final draft can be absolutely stunning.